Okay, so let's install all the necessary libraries. So pip install pandas, yfinance, and requests. After the installation is completed, just open Jupyter Notebook and let's start by importing yfinance as yf. Let's import pandas as pd, and let's take requests. So next we have to grab the S&P500 stocks, the list of the stocks from somewhere. We're going to use Wikipedia to achieve that. So let's go there. Let's write Wikipedia SP500 list. And the first page contains a table with all the updated symbols in SP500. So we want to use this table to get the stock prices for each of the companies. So let's grab the URL and let's go back to our Jupyter Notebook. Let's paste it here. And now we have to find a way to grab this table from Wikipedia. We could do it with requests, but in this case, we're just going to use pandas because it's actually faster. So let's create a new data frame. So SP500 tickers. And we're going to use the method read HTML available in pandas. And we're going to pass the URL. Just like that, pandas is going to Wikipedia and is grabbing all the tables in that page. So if we check our outputs, we have a list. Be careful because this is a list. And inside our list, we have our data frame, our table. So we have here all the tickers and all the security names. So let's actually get rid of the list and get the first element because that's our data frame, okay? So we're going to call it just tickers. And now we have a nice format data frame. Here we go, with all the tickers inside. So the next step is to look through all of these tickers and get the stock price from the previous 5 days. So we're going to initialize a new data frame. So let's call it main.df, and we are going to call it, or we are going to give it 2 columns. And these columns are going to be a ticker and a movement. Okay. Now that we have this data frame, we want to store all the movements from the past 5 days inside this main.df. So let's look through our tickers here. So all the symbols. And to do so, we can just say for ticker in tickers symbol. Whoops. So we're going to download from yfinance the stock price for this ticker. We have to pass a period of 5 days because we want just the stock price from the past week, and we can save it like in a data frame as well. And now we can just print our data frame, and actually let's break not to print like all the symbols. And here we go. So we have the stock price for the past 5 days for this specific stock. Okay. We can also check which stock are we actually seeing. So we can print the ticker on the data frame. So MMM, and we have open price, we have the high price, the low price, and the close price. So now we can do simple math to see what was our intraday movement for these past 5 days, and we just need to compare our high price with our low price, and we can check like what is the relation between this difference and the low price, and this is giving us the percentual movement of the intraday stock price. So let's do that. So we can just do df.high minus the low price, and we can divide it by the low price. And this is going to give us a movement. So if we print our movement here, we can check like what is the movement for each of the days. But since we want like to compare with all of these other symbols, like we want a mean of this movement. Okay, so an average. We don't want to have like 5 values, we want to have just one. So we can simply take the mean from this, because this is a panda series. So our movements, our mean movements is just equals to 3.5% in this case. So now that we have that, the last step is just to store like this new data. So we can just take our main df and we can just append our ticker. So we have to pass a dictionary here when we are appending. And our dictionary has to have like these 2 columns, so the ticker and the movement. So for the ticker, we're going to pass the ticker itself. And for the movements, we're going to pass the movement here. Okay. So that's it. We can just run it. And this is going to take the movement for all the 500 companies. So I'm going to run this cell, and we have a ticker, because we also have to pass the arguments ignore index equals to true. And that's it. Now we are collecting the data for all the 500 tickers. So this is going to take a while. So, you know, go grab a coffee or something, and I'm going to fast forward. Okay, so now that we have that, we can just print our main df. And look, we have all the movements for our tickers. You may realize that some of these tickers like outputted like a weird error, like no data found, symbol may be delisted. So actually these cases are going to be represented as NAs, so not a number. So to get rid of these NAs, we're going to drop NAs, and we're going to set the flag in place equals to true to make it permanent. We are going to run it, and now we can check like which were the biggest movers. So we can sort the values by movements. This is capitalized movements. And we are going to pass the flag ascending equals to false. And here I just have to pass equals, not equals equals. Yeah. And we can see that like our biggest movers are here. So cool, we can store them in a different, variable. So we're going to get the biggest movers. And we are only going to take the top 10. So the top 10 biggest movers. We can do that. And again, we have our biggest movers here. Cool, nice. So now we can start by, building our graph, or we can even add some additional information. Because right now we only have like the ticker and the movement. So we could have some additional data. Let's call it additional data. And let's grab it from the tickers. And we want to take the symbol. We want to take the security name. And we want to take our GICS sector. Yeah. And here we go. So our ticker data frame, if you don't remember, is here. Our tickers, sorry. And you can see that we have like the security as a column, and we have the GICS sector as another column. So they're useful columns, and we want to take them. Okay. Now the next step is to merge like this additional data with this biggest movers data. So let's just use the merge method in pandas to do that. We can have a final df. And our final df, it's going to contain our biggest movers dot merge, and we're going to merge it with our additional data. Okay, we just have to pass two more arguments. So the left on, meaning which column on the left data frame, the biggest movers. So this one here, it's going to connect with the additional data frame. So in the left, we have the ticker. So this is the column that we are going to use to merge with the right symbol column. Okay, so like we want to merge like this with this. Okay, so let's pass the left on, and our left on, it's going to be ticker, and our right on, it's going to be the symbol. We can copy it from here, and yeah, here we go. Now we have like a complemented data frame with the ticker, the movement, the security name, and the sector. We can just get rid of this symbol here because we have the ticker, so we can just say drop and then symbol, and we have to pass our axis to know that this is the right axis, so it's the axis number 1. Let's also pass the in place flag to make it permanent, and yeah, here we go. Our final DF looks like this. Now it's just time to like draw our graph. So to do so, we have to import Plotly, and if you don't have Plotly installed, go back to your terminal and just install it, like with pip install Plotly, and that's it. You can just run it, and this is going to install Plotly. So let's import Plotly now, and plotly.express as px. So now we can pass create a new figure. So we're going to use the px.scatter for a scatter plot. We're going to pass our final df. Our x, it's going to be our sector. Whoops. Our y, it's going to be our ticker. And our size, it's going to be our movement. So let's actually go align down here. We can also have the color being the movement itself. The movement or the security, actually. The sector. So let's take the sector instead. And when we hover, so we have the over name, not data. So we can pass the security itself. And that's everything. We can just do fig.show. And here we go. So we have our figure here. It looks nice. So we can see that our Lumen Technologies is the ticker with the biggest movements, and you can analyze the other ones. So hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It was very short. If you have any questions, as always, just leave it in the comments. Thank you for watching.